that. But I want to talk to you about a related issue here, which is about emissions, carbon emissions. I've been covering you for years. I cannot recall hearing you talk about concerns around climate change. Do you worry about what climate change will do to our planet, Pierre Poilievre?
Sure, and that's why I'm so disappointed with the very problematic approach of the Liberal government, which has been to drive up energy costs and block projects from going ahead that would help the environment.
So are you an environmentalist, Pierre Poilievre?
Sure, you can call me whatever you like.
No, well, I want to know what you'd call yourself. We are talking about sea levels rising, worried about loss of biodiversity. You worry about those things.
Sure, and I also have solutions. Like if we were to displace dirty Asian coal-fired plants with clean Canadian natural gas, according to the National Bank, we could reduce global emissions by 2.5 billion tons, which is 3 times the emissions of all of Canada for a year. But to do that, you need liquefaction terminals like the one that Prime Minister Harper approved, LNG Canada. And we shouldn't be talking about having one more. We should be talking about having 18 or 19 LNG liquefaction plants. That's the number that were proposed when the Liberals took office. And so what I propose, let's take our natural gas, which is very clean, which is very cheap in Canada. Right now, we only get $3 per million metric British thermal units, and let's sell it to Asia for $14. We could help power the most populous continent by getting them off of dirtier coal and reducing global emissions. But the real difference between myself and the Liberals on this is they believe in keeping it in the ground. Those are Mr. Carney's words, by the way. He wrote them. We can debate whether he's flip-flopped on that as well. Or the conservative approach, which is let's use our energy to grow the paychecks of our people and protect the environment. They believe in energy poverty. I believe in energy abundance, and that is the approach that we would take to the environment.
You say you're worried about climate change. Why have we not seen you ever commit to emissions reductions targets?
I just did right now.
That's not a target. That's saying we should do more to reduce our emissions. That's not about meeting the Paris targets. That's not saying our 2030 targets are right, wrong, should be higher, lower.
The current government is not meeting its emissions targets.
But I'm asking whether you think those are valuable targets, not about what the federal government is doing, which you've been clear about.
It would be very easy. In fact, it would be very easy to meet all of those targets if we include the global reductions that the export of Canadian nuclear and natural gas would engender. And so I'd say, sure, not only could we could displace the equivalent of 3 years of emissions in Canada by sending our Canadian natural gas over to Asia and displacing dirty coal. I mean, the Asian economies are adding these coal-fired plants one after the other because they don't have access to affordable natural gas. We have the most affordable gas. It's easy for us to liquefy it because our cold climate does most of the work. And we have the shortest shipping distances to both Asia and Europe of any country in the Americas. So why would we not use that kind of pragmatic approach that enriches rather than impoverishes us?
I want to turn to another one of your policy proposals here because our time is finite. You have called on the government to get rid of the temporary foreign worker program. The Prime Minister has said he will adjust the program to make it more strategic. Why do you believe that there is never a need for these workers outside of the agricultural sector?
Because we have unemployed Canadians. Since Mr. Carney took office, we've hemorrhaged 86,000 jobs. Really hard to believe.
Surely some of that is related to U.S. tariffs and the uncertainty.
The tariffs that Mr. Carney promised he would manage to get rid of through his promise to negotiate a win by July 21st. And it's also, according to the Business Council, the red tape of the federal government is responsible for more economic damage than even the tariffs. That's what the business community says. But it's true that in fairness, Mr. Carney has failed to keep his promise on negotiating a deal, and that has obviously hurt our economy.
He said he would only sign a deal if it was good for Canada. He did not promise a deal under no conditions.
He promised to, quote, negotiate a win. He promised to have a deal by July 21st. Those are broken promises. Now, you asked me about temporary foreign workers, and but I had to respond to your interjection. And so on temporary foreign workers, we've got 350,000 people in Toronto alone who who are unemployed. We have the worst job numbers since the 1990s for our youth. And when you have 14% unemployment for youth, it is appalling that we're bringing in low-wage, temporary foreign workers who are exploited again and again, exploited by those seeking to profit off of paying below market wages. And the Liberal government is on track this year to having the largest number of temporary foreign workers in Canadian history. What I'm saying is we should do is...
There are a multitude of factors affecting the job market. AI, tariffs. Some of the numbers of temporary foreign workers you've talked about more broadly are renewals of people who have been here for some time. Do you worry about telling Canadians that these job losses, tying it directly to temporary foreign workers, that people will perceive that as blaming temporary foreign workers?
No, because I haven't blamed temporary foreign workers. I've said precisely the opposite. They are great people. They're not to blame. The Liberal government is to blame. It's the Liberals that are bringing people. The temporary foreign workers are just seeing a job opportunity and getting a work permit. They're just doing what the Liberal government told them to do. But I think it's appalling that when I go to towns across this country, parents tell me their kids cannot get jobs to start off and start saving for school because, in part, the 100,000 plus temporary foreign workers that employers prefer to have in some cases because they can pay them less. And my answer is let's
say they will work shifts other people won't.
Let's raise wages. And what I say to everybody is raise wages. Let's pay more. If you want to attract Canadian kids, pay great Canadian wages. A stronger take-home pay is one of my big priorities for this fall session. And that means ensuring that even though there aren't a lot of jobs in Canada right now, they should go to Canadians first.